Welcome to the Golf Parent.
What you say?
Now, this is the time of year when college coaches are coming to watch potential recruits. And what I tell to the kids that I coach is that if they're coming to watch you, they've already determined that you're good enough. What they're really coming to see is how you handle mistakes. They're looking to see what is the interaction like between the parents and the child. And they're looking for these subtle things that they believe are the separators, the conversation that we're talking about, that they're trying to identify before the boy or girl gets to college. And they're not really into how good you're playing, because they've already know that. They've seen your scores. They're coming there to see more of the conversation we're having right now. What does this person do after making a double bogey? How do they handle being on the clock because of slow play? What are they eating? What are they drinking? How early do they get to the golf course? All this stuff that they don't want to wait until the person is there, and they're not, because there's just been too many situations where the coaches I'm talking about have picked incorrectly. So they're just trying to avoid that. They're running the same stuff we're talking about.
For what it's worth, I don't have decades of experience, but I have talked to numerous Division One golf coaches, and I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. But this is kind of what the podcast is for: is to give those insights, the tips and tricks to the golf parents. Everything Jeff is saying is 100% correct. The coaches are telling me time and time again that they actually don't want to see the player play well. They almost want to see the player having an off day, and they want to see how they handle adversity. So everything you said, Jeff, I want to see them do a double bogey. I want to see them on the clock. I want to see how they handle a bad day in adversity, because that's going to tell you the character. That's going to tell you what they're actually there to look for. So I love that what you said, and any junior golfer listening or parent listening, if they're coming to see you, they've already determined you're good enough. Awesome. That's a perfect thing to say, because now you can just you can relax. I'm good enough. Now it's how are you carrying yourself? It's the emotional side of it, which is fascinating.
Yeah, and then so two things happen there. It makes the mistakes more of this learning experience for everybody, and also then the exhale that you're just giving is that people are going to likely play better. And I'm after that same thing when I'm dealing with a PGA Tour player. How do we get to that exhale place that, despite this being very important and a lot of money on the line, how do we get to a place where you can have that exhale and have a perspective on this that allows your skills to come out? First of all, they have to have the skills. I mean, that's key. Whether any tournament golfer, first thing is have a realistic evaluation on what those skills are like, and that's where a coach helps, and that's where stats keeping helps. So we live in a world where keeping reasonable stats. I'm not a fan of the minutia, honestly, because I want to see that this relates to the person. So I even come up with creative things. If I want parents to be involved, I'll say, keep track of how many smiles your kid has had for this tournament. You don't have to keep track of 3 putts or like that. They already know all that. You keep track of how often they smile. So then that'll immediately, you'll read the situation. Are they prepared to do that? And then now you've got this, just a better marker for the whole interaction going on out there.
Wow, I love that. Okay, I wanted to get to the stat because you are known to be a stat guy. I got 2 questions here. What's the most underrated stat that people aren't really paying attention to or keeping track of that you discovered? And conversely, if you could only pick one stat to track yourself to kind of tell you what you need to know about a player, what would that be?
So most underrated stat would be, well, for junior golfers, it would be the relationship between greenside and 8 to 10 feet putting. Because you, at the professional level, this is fairly well known. If you're world class, you hit the majority of your greenside shots between 8 and 10 feet away. So oftentimes, people and golfers, juniors, expect that That's going to be much narrower, much closer. So subsequently, they put all this pressure on contact and types of shots and practice and shot quality. But in reality, you just got to be really good at being able to get it to between 8 and 10 feet. And then you've got to
Let
be
me
good
understand.
at,
Sorry, let me understand that, Jeff. I want to make sure I'm understanding. Is that saying that you're missing off the green 8 to 10 feet, and so that's
no,
your chip shot in?
no, your green side, anything green side. So green side is considered to be anything inside 30 yards. So if you can get the ball inside 10 feet from all of your shots, green
From
side,
30 feet away.
from 30 yards away, from
From
anywhere
30
inside
yards
30,
away. Okay.
30 yards away. So that would be all pitches, chips, bunker shots. So it's this pretty big circle, 10 feet around the hole. And you don't even have to put them all in there. You just got to average 10 feet. So then that starts to influence people's decision making, how they practice, and so on. And then you've got to be good enough in that range putting, the relationship between those two things, because that's probably at a junior level, that's where momentum is kept and rounds are kept together, and you're making up for the ball striking component. It changes when you're a professional golfer because people can't chip and putt it good enough to keep your job. You have to be good enough off the tee and approach shots. You can hold rounds together, but greenside stuff is way down the importance at a professional level. But at a junior level, that's I constantly meet golfers and parents who expect much closer proximity greenside, like they're to make up for not good putting performance from, let's just say, 7 to 10 feet.